Good evening, great and wonderful. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to you, depending on your time zone this very hour. My name is I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in the province of Biafra. I serve the indigenous of Biafra in the Directorate of State as the head of directorate. I work on very one important and particular issue. After that, I'll make some announcements, and the time permitting, I will as well hopefully take some questions, if there are any, from Biafrans worldwide. Now, faithfulness on our journey, faithfulness on the responsibility has been given to us, faithfulness on our commitment to the struggle for the restoration of the sovereign nation of Biafra and of our dignity as a people. Today I will speak on loyalty. Loyalty specifically, I am addressing Biafrans in general, but particularly loyalty as it concerns those who are under the leadership and the command of Oyendo as family members of the indigenous people of Biafra. I want to ask a question, and that question is, many of us, I'll give a background before that question comes anyway. Many of us who have been part of this great movement for a very long time, we all joined this struggle. In fact, the majority joined this struggle because we heard the voice, the servant of heaven. We heard the calling from the Master, the calling of the true Elohim, that call. And as we answered that call, we have done all that is required of us. We have done, continue to do, and we continue to do all that is needed from us. Not only the fundamental principles and policies which he put in place, but in accordance with his direct order as we march forward. His direct order, because I have heard people talk about lack of leadership. I have heard the word bandied around, autopilot. And I begin to ask myself, wait a minute, what are these people talking about when they talk about autopilot, a secret movement being an autopilot? What are people actually insinuating when they say that there is no? Is there something they know that we do not know? Because as far as this great movement is concerned, there is neither a situation warranting autopilot, nor a situation to even consider the question of whether a vacuum exists, vacuum of leadership exists, or whether Because as far as we are concerned, as far as those who have drank from the knowledge of Onyendu are concerned, as far as they are concerned, we do not have any value. And because Onyendu is there, are you saying that this movement is on autopilot because you don't know that Onyendu is well and alive? Are you saying that there is lack of leadership because you believe that Onyendu Mazinam Bekano is not alive? We must not, in order to push forward an agenda, insult the man who has given it all for this movement. That will be a grievous mistake on the part of anybody who engages or indulges in such nonsense. And I'll call it nonsense because it doesn't make any sense to me. And last time, I alerted Biafrans on the modus operandi of those whose agenda are being pushed conscientiously. And I said that their motive or their intention is to parody around the word of lack of leadership. Their motive is to discredit that leadership, that authority that Onyendu has put in place. When they discredit it, they will go ahead and tell you there's lack of leadership, everything that is going on is lack of leadership, and then they direct attention to themselves. But I will make a promise to them like I did last time. This movement that Onyendu has put in place and this leadership that Onyendu has put in place will not and cannot allow the work of our detractors to see the light of the day. Let me tell you what is playing out or what the direction they are going. I know that people have told us, and not only that they told us, they have demanded from us that we must hand over Biafra to them. If you cannot hand over Radio Baifra to me, that's the exact word. This is something put in place. This platform upon which he has mobilized millions and millions of people. This platform that upon it you will only hear the truth about what the leadership of RPOB is doing in the pursuit of our freedom, in the protection of our people, and in the defense of our land. That platform, this platform, Holy Radio Baifra platform, is what people are asking us to hand over to them. And you ask yourself, why do they want us to hand over Radio Baifra to them? Why does anybody in his own right mind of thinking will conceive or contemplate that they will be handed over, that the Radio Baifra should be handed over to them without any kind of control? You must use your phone to count your feet, and you must make your own conclusion. The Radio Baifra cannot be handed over whose intention it has always been that platform is the how will I put it? It is what gives fear and what the enemy, the true government has tried time and time again to stop Radio Baifra from broadcasting. They have complained to the United Kingdom government to try and see if they can stop Radio Baifra from broadcast. They have not succeeded. They have not succeeded. They came with so many they set up 7 different radios in order to see if they can draw away the wise Biafran people from this platform to those other platforms that they created. They failed. They failed woefully. Because 2 things are in the way of the complete takeover of our land. 2 things. At this moment that Owendu is in the hands of the enemy, there is only 2 things that will be in control of the enemy, then it is over. But heaven shall bear me witness tonight that will not happen, and that will never happen. Because Chineke is alive, Onye is alive, he is the leader of this movement. Whatever anybody can say, the DOS cannot be cajoled. We cannot be intimidated. We cannot be blackmailed into abandoning that single person that has risen up for the emancipation of our people and the emancipation of those that have been held down in the contraption called the Israelite Republic of Nigeria. That will not happen under our watch. It doesn't matter what allegations are leveled against me personally. It doesn't matter what allegations people go about leveling against the Directorate of State. We are standing here. We are keeping watch, and we will keep watch until our leader comes out and takes over the mantle of leadership and leads us into a free and independent sovereign Biafran nation. The Directorate of State, even a member of the DOS, whether she knows what she was saying or she was told what she was saying, even came out to malign the members of the DOS by saying that we wanted to stop the sit at home because, according to her word, she said they have collected money. They have collected money. And I asked her myself, I said, Madam, please, this they have collected money. Tell me, and not even me, don't give the Biafran people the evidence. Don't send the whatever evidence you have, send it, make it public like you made this video, this your audio public. Make the evidence from who did these people collect money, and who are these people who are in the DOS that collect money? Because I am interested in knowing from whom money was collected, and from whom who are those who collected this money in order, according to her, to tell our people to stop the sit at home, which in the first place was initiated by this Directorate of State. But people are expecting this DOS to work as if there is no head. We have head. We have not head in this. We have a head, let me put it that way. We have a leader, and that leader is well and alive and in total and complete control of what the Directorate of State is doing. We cannot be cajoled into doing otherwise. It is therefore, after looking at all these attacks that is coming, and the demand that has been made, after looking at all that and putting them together, it dawned on us actually that those who may be within this family and those who are not within this family who are purveying this falsehood about compromise of the leadership of the indigenous people of Biafra in terms of the DOS, they have their agenda that they want to propel and push to the public. And that agenda, I'm telling you this evening, is two-pronged. Discredit the DOS, make them irrelevant, and then prop up someone else to be in charge, to take over. And I have no problem. Personally, I do not have issue with anybody, a Biafran who has the desire to pursue our freedom, and he or she will, set up, gather Biafrans together, set up a group like that. Has always been groups that are fighting for Biafra. It's not an issue for us. We have them. We have the Massa, we have the Indian, we have the Zionists, and name it. We had them. We had them here, and many of them. I have no problem with you setting up your structure and pursuing the emancipation of Biafra. The problem I have is that if anybody comes here to think that he will displace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader of IPOB, you are in a cuckoo's land. Whether it doesn't matter who you are, it does not matter what you have contributed. It does not matter how eloquent you may be. It does not matter how charisma you may be. It does not matter what you show. This IPOB led by Nyendu cannot be handed over to anybody. And you cannot, while we are alive, nobody, she or he, you will not be able to come and take this over. You can malign the DOS as much as you like. You can speak in riddles as much as you like. But to come and think you will take over this while Nyendu is still alive, it is a no and a no-go for those people. And I'm therefore asking their fans to be wary. The attacks will not stop. They will come with more subtlety. They will come with more acquisition. They will come. You must only remain steadfast. You must only remain focused. You must only make sure that you ask yourself every single day, to whom is our loyalty? Whom did I hear from before I joined this movement? And that person, is he still in charge? If he's in charge and you still does not want to follow the instruction he's giving, then you should know from the onset, I have an issue that you do not belong here. And we do not make any apologies to ask you if you do not belong here, please. Of course. If you do not belong to the indigenous people of Biafra led by Mazi Kanu, if you feel you cannot follow his instructions, you have no place here. You have no place here. Only one said that he wants only 100 men. 100 men that heaven has chosen. And I want to tell you that when he talks about 100 men, now, you might just oppose that with what is going on now. Many, and I said it during my last broadcast, many will be part of this struggle. Don't allow yourself to be part of the struggle, but at the end of the day, you will not be known as a veteran of this struggle. Because if you fall by the wayside, there is no way you can be called a veteran. Therefore, I'm alerting you this very evening. I'm alerting you that you must ask yourself this question. If possible, on a daily basis, when you call, to whom does my loyalty lie in this very moment? Do I really belong to IPOB? If I belong to IPOB that is led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, then my loyalty must be to that head of this movement. And myself, Mazi Chika Edoziem, my loyalty is not to any other person. Will never be to any other person, but to Nyendu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because a matchmaker has been sent from heaven to do this work that he is doing. You can irrespective of the difficulty that he is going presently, all things must work for good for us, this family, to the actualization of all our objectives, to the actualization of all our aims. And of course, when we talk about these aims and objectives, we do not have to. The short-term objective that we have today is to ensure the safety and well-being of our leader. We know he's alive. We know to the extent of where he is incarcerated, he is well. To that extent, in that context, he is okay. But we do not want him to stay there longer than he has already stayed. And that explained our demand for his unconditional release. And that, as I'm speaking this night to you, that is still our demand, his unconditional release from the detention of the DSS and from the incarceration that he is being held by the Nigerian authorities. That is our demand. And that demand stays and stands until it is met, and it will be met. The barest minimum that we may be expecting, is also what the lawyers are working on. And on that aspect, I will not go into the intricacies of the legal fireworks that our legal department is, because they are doing marvelously well. I will tell you that now, both those within the confines of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria and those without, that is those in the diaspora. All the legal engagements that we are pursuing, all those angles, they are in full swing, and we cannot stop until Onyendu rejoins us. This is the objective, the medium-term objective of this very present leadership that Onyendu has put in place, that Onyendu is directing, irrespective of what people may say. And our final and long-term objective is to the soonest ensure that the kingdom of heaven, the restored and sovereign Biafran nation, becomes a reality in our lifetime, and not after, because this fight must finish. We must finish it and not to leave it for our children to continue to fight, because there will not be, if IPOB fails, I tell you, my brothers and my sisters, if IPOB fails, that race called the Biafran people, you will not only be threatened, you will be extinguished. But heaven will not allow that to happen, because both the spiritual and the physical are in agreement on what needs to be done to ensure that that does not happen, and to also ensure that the kingdom of heaven, Biafra nation, is reestablished on this very earth that we are in. My appeal, I use the word now appeal this night, my appeal to Biafrans with particular reference to the IPOB family members worldwide is that you must follow the chain of command that we have. You must follow the chain of command that we have. And when you follow the chain of command that you have, because you're a principal officer, because you are a member of this great family, once you follow that chain of command that we have, you will not make a mistake. But if you believe that you are comfortable, it's your prerogative, of course. You are comfortable listening to orders from other quarters. That, of course, you are free to do, but not at the same time being in our midst and then committing insubordinations and disobedience while you are truly not one of us. So it is to great Biafrans and family members of our people worldwide that they must know that when I speak on this matter of loyalty, they should be asking themselves this question: loyalty to who? Whom did you hear his voice and you joined? And if your answer is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, I'm telling you now, I'm telling you this evening, that person you heard his voice is still in charge of this movement. He may be instructing us now, not directly, giving instructions, but he is in absolute charge. And we must not make a mistake. We must not play into the hands of the enemy. We must not even for 1 second try and give that impression that this man has become irrelevant in this struggle. If you do that, my goodness me, to God not forbid that any of us will do that because this Directorate of State will not give the room for that to happen. We will not give the room for that to happen, and we must continue to march ahead. We must continue to do what he has asked us to do, and because he has asked us, because we are in constant communication with him, and we make sure that what needs to be done, what information needs to be passed to him is passed to him through means that are available to us. It must not necessarily be through our lawyers, but we pass information to him, and because he is seized of these informations, he has given and he has properly directed us on what to do, and that will form part of some of the announcements that I'm going to make this very evening for Biafrans worldwide to take note of. I wish to repeat, as I did last time, if you are a principal officer, if you are a coordinator, if you are in the administrative part of this struggle, you do not receive instruction from anybody who is not a principal officer. If you do that going forward from today, then that means you have by yourself relinquished that position you're holding, because you cannot belong to an organization. For example, IPOB is not that kind of anybody. You cannot belong to an organization, and you cannot work with the rules and regulations that are guiding that organization. Where each of us are working, there are rules and regulations that guides our working environment or our working relationship with the companies that employ us. Once we go against it, the company will tell you, well, we don't know whose interest you're protecting here, and it may end up resulting in very serious consequences. Therefore, if you believe that you are part of this and that Onyenu is your leader, you must, I am not this time. I am not begging you, but I'm saying that you must follow Onyenu's order, failing which then you don't belong here. Why am I saying this again? Yes, many are called, but few will be chosen. Few will be chosen because we are millions of Biafrans all over the world, and we are millions and millions of IPB members all over the world. But it is only those who have been purified in the fire of purification, those who have been purified in the knowledge that came out from the mouth of the leader of this movement. It is those who have been tested. It is those who started from the beginning and who are still there, whose loyalty are still there. It is those who the spirit of Biafra has taken hold of. It is them that will be the few. It is them that will be among the 100 that our leader talked about, that will stay faithful faithful, loyal, and focused and committed, pending when Onyendu comes out and takes over the mantle of leadership, physically for everybody to see, and then for us to continue on our march to freedom. Therefore, after tonight's broadcast, ask yourself this question: where does my loyalty lie? Like I said, I will make some announcements, and I will also opportunity, warranting, if that is possible, depending on the host of this or the person hosting this very program. If there is opportunity to take a few questions from Biafrans, I will do that. But now, let me go to the announcement that I have to make. The most important announcement that I have to make tonight is that we all are aware what 14th of September means in the struggle of our freedom. Every hardcore Biafran know what 14th of September symbolizes. And when I talk about 14th of September, I'm talking about 14th of September 2017. 14th of September 2017, we know what that symbolizes. That was the day that the forces of darkness converged. They converged on Afaruku and they killed as if nothing matters anymore. They mowed down tens and tens of young and dedicated Biafran youths who willingly gave their life for their leader to remain alive today, and that Onyendu is alive today, we owe to many of these young, brave heroes that have given their life. We know that 14th of September was a day that marked the beginning of the loss of the first parents of this very movement, the father and mother of our leader in the Martin Kano. We know that 14th of September is therefore 14th of September 2017, and going forward is therefore a pivotal date in the history of our struggle for freedom. And therefore, the 14th of September 2021, the indigenous people of Biafra will declare a complete lockdown of Biafra land. 14th of September 2021. It shall be a day that we will again show the world. We are calling for this because, like I told you, we are working in sync, in coordination with the upper leadership of this movement. And it is our intention and desire to inform their friends that there are dates that has been made, that has been put in place for us to continue our civil disobedience. And the first of that date is 14th of September 2021. We already have announced, we did announce that the weekly Monday sit at home has been suspended by Onyendu. And when we say suspended, at the time we say suspended, we did not say it was cancelled. We say it was suspended. Because when you suspend something, you will probably come back again to reinstate it. Now, that suspension, and after due consultations and after due deliberations with the highest authority of the union, we agreed that apart from the court date, when Onyendu will come in place, we will go to court, will appear before the Zoological Republic Court. 14th of September will be a day what we used to call the Saboteurs Day. So, if you're a baby saboteur before and you are planning to become one now, this very day that is coming has something to do with yourself. Ask yourself, therefore, if you want really your name to be in perfidy and in infamy than to do what your people what will set your people free eternally and forever. So I will bring out information. Fresh information will come from this for this sit at home on the 14th, and on the 15th evening to 16th evening will be the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement that we always have been engaged in for a very long time. I don't know how many years exactly now, but at least for a minimum of three years or so, we have religiously done our atonement, and after each atonement, heaven releases their blessings upon us, and in very, very great measure. Therefore, 14th of September will be our sit at home. There will be a total lockdown in Biafra land. The paperwork will be done. Our atonement is not a sit at home. My people, so that nobody will misquote me here. Our atonement day is not a sit at home. Our atonement day it simply means that this is a day that we will engage in prayerful communication with heaven, atoning for our sins. Those who have committed, those who are thinking of committing another sin, you will seek the face of heaven, the face of Chukwu Abiyama, for him to forgive us, and also we call on him to forgive our ancestors in any manner that they may have sinned against him, that Chukwu may forgive them, and let his love and blessing return unto us, his children, and let the restoration of Biafra come sooner than later. This very, very announcement is the most important announcement that I'm going to make. Now, this second announcement, I have already passed this information to the appropriate persons involved. But I want to state it here. That the Biafran people will also understand, because I know some people will say, it's true, it's not every information that we receive that we have to make public. But there is a reason why I am making these two messages public tonight. And the first one is that we have a liaison group. We have a liaison group, and this liaison group was set up by Onyendu, of course. And the account that was opened by the liaison group was also authorized by Onyendu. That is correct. Now, Onyendu has directed that the funds in the liaison group should be transferred to the ESN account in North America, that is in the United States of America. And we understand that there is a kind of feet dragging to carry out this order from our leader. Now, Onyendu understand, well, not that you understand, but we understand that there is a feet drag. But now, I am giving further order to the people in the liaison group, whoever is in charge. Now, this is the order. If you do not want to transfer ESM funds that you have country that has been raised for ESN, if you do not want to transfer it to the ESN account that was newly opened with the approval of Onyendu and Kano, please, there should be no further expenditure from that account for any reason. There should be, that account must now, as of today, this 29th of August 2021, there should be no further expenditure to be made from that account. When we, at the appropriate time, when we do the audit of that account, anything that is found not proper, of course, it will be made known to the Biafran people. And secondly, the head of finance has been also directed. Yet she has been directed to move every ESN fund that is in Italy. That Italy was meant to to put together the ESN fund that was raised in Europe before they will be transferred to USA, or before even though will ask the head of finance to transfer it to any other account or to any other project that we have in hand. So now the order that you're receiving from HDOS Edoziem this night is that account in Italy, the funds for ESN there, must be transferred to the account in ESN USA, the account that is made for ESN USA. As of today, no other funds shall be removed from that account if not to be transferred to the ESN account in USA. And the IPOB families in Europe, all your ESN funds must go direct to the ESN account in USA, no longer ESN account in Italy, because those in Italy, when they tell us that there are restrictions on how much you can move out of it, and when we know that these young men and women that are protecting our land, they will need every logistic that will help them do their job. If we cannot utilize the fund we have in Italy, for example, because of restrictions, then it does not make sense that we continue to put our funds in there. That is simple reasoning. That makes simple common sense. Therefore, every IPOB family in Europe, from henceforth, your ESN, and I reiterate, ESN funds go direct to our account in the United States of America. Now, the next announcement that I have to make is this, and this one, the head of finance, please take note. Any family, anybody who wishes to raise funds for ESN must receive authorization. And this is how the authorization will go. If you are country A, for example, even the liaison group, if they want to raise funds for ESN, they must inform the head of finance, and the head of finance must inform me, HDOS Edoziem, and I will give a written confirmation that they will go ahead and raise that fund. Failing which, if you are invited to any fundraising, ask those who invited you, did you receive a signed authorization to raise this fund? Because we can no longer be raising funds and people are not remitting those funds to where they are supposed to be remitted. So, I will repeat this very instruction. If you are a country, if you have made arrangement to raise funds for ESN, you inform the head of finance, and the head of finance will inform me, HDOS Chika Edoziem, and I will give authorization simply stating that this country has been authorized by the head of directorate to do what? To raise funds for ESN. And that fund, if when it is raised and you cannot put it in ESN account in USA, then you will not get that authorization in the first place. I hope that one is also very, 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 very clear for our people. And we received the report. I'm making this announcement so that people in Biafra land will know that, of course, the leadership is doing something to some of the complaints. It gets to me, I get them, and we are doing something to solve some of these problems. We received many reports that our translators in Biafra land are down, and many of them need to be repaired. I'm telling you this evening that yes, I am seized of that opportunity, of that information, of that situation, of that report and complaint. I am aware of it, and what we need to do, I have of course spoken to Mazi Ofoma, and we are waiting to receive proper and detailed information of what exactly needs to be repaired, and then we will make the funds available for them to repair our transmitters for our people in the hinterland, for our people in Biafra land, those who cannot, those do not have the opportunity for data. They will be listening to our radio as when we have information for them. And finally, my final announcement tonight is that we have seen that the media, the social media is awash, very much awash with audio recordings from those who are ready and out to pursue their own agenda. Unfortunately, some of these audio recordings are even coming out from, excuse me, I needed to take some water. Some of these recordings are even coming out from those who call themselves principal servants. And if you are a principal servant, let me tell you once again, and this night, let me tell you, you are positioned as a principal servant. You are put there to serve the Biafran people. You are put there as a member of this very honorable movement to follow instructions. And once you have decided, or once you think that you have now you have grown, you know much now, and you don't think you can take instructions from those who are less educated than you are, those who are less tall than you are, or less big than you are. The simple thing you have to do is to simply, please, step aside and let those who are ready to focus on the work that we have before us to lead our people in that position. Therefore, if you are a principal servant and you go on air with unsubstantiated allegation against another principal officer, I am saying tonight's broadcast will be recorded and distributed so that you will not say, I did not hear. If you are a principal officer and you are one of those who goes online making videos and making audios and maligning and disparaging and running down your fellow principal officer, first of all, that's not when you go through your oath, you're already in contravention of the oath you took. And when the oath begins to work on you, you will be acting what is going on, what is happening to you. It is my desire this night to tell you and to, like a brother, call you back from falling down from the precipice that you are standing upon. I'm calling you back this night because so that you will not say that anybody targeted you for any reason. Do not, I beg you, go on air if you have complaint. Channel your complaint to the proper authority. This indiscipline must cease. It must stop, and tonight it should stop, and it must stop tonight. Going forward, we shall not be as lenient as we are today. There are a number of people or movements or groups that are pursuing for the Biafra independence. There, if it is place where there are no discipline and you feel you can't go there, I have nothing against you. I have absolutely nothing against your decision. But when you belong to this family, you must follow rules and you must follow order. That is it, and that is what I have to say on that very issue. And I believe that so that time will not go too much, I may ask Mazi Alozie if it is possible for people to ask me a few questions. I'm ready to take it. If it's not possible, then I will gradually close for this very
it is possible.
Address to our people.
Yeah, it is possible. The call number is +1 484 767 0848. +1 484 767 0848 for anybody that has a question for you. +1 484 767 0848. They don't have any question, then we conclude the broadcast.
He said it's 484?
Yes, 767
767
0848.
0848.
Yes.
+1.
Yes.
Thank you, Mazi. I repeat the number. Anyone who has questions for me, please, you can ask your questions by calling the number +1 484 767 0848. +1 484 767 0848. If even after today there is no call, I believe maybe going forward I will my next coming on air.
Yes,
I will try and make available the opportunity for people to call in and ask their questions. Thank you, Mazi.
Yes,
I'm waiting.
Yeah, caller, your name and where you're calling from. Caller, your name and where you're calling from.
I'm sure that everybody kind of noticed what happened for the last few days about the tankers that was conveyed from the north down to Owerri.
The caller is not coming through.
Caller,
we're not hearing anything from you.
Caller, your name and where you're calling from. I'm not coming through.
Okay.
Caller, your name and where you're calling from. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning. This is Mazi. I want to say thank you to my Chika Edoziem, and thank you to all the friends who are listening. I want to say thank you to Chika Edoziem. That our leader, Martin Nandekano, alive and well. I believe the enemies will do whatever they always want to do, but in the end, as long as we stay in the pursuit, in the spirit of our oath and code of conduct, and believe in the power of Chika Edoziem to give us what belongs to us, at the end we win this fight. It's a must. Now they can will come out and win. That's my question. Please, man, take Chika Edoziem. Is a national account. Does national account belong to a coordinator and the only coordinator to use?
Your question is if national account, and you're talking about generally or is specific on a country, if national accounts are for the coordinators, only the coordinator to use?
Yeah, we're talking about the new account we have here in the USA, that is USN/national account. Is this for the use of a...
He broke off. Yeah, I can get him.
Yeah, his line is resolved.
Well, if I get, hopefully maybe he will come back. But if I get the question, if the national account the new account that I'm talking about for the that is opened at the instruction of William, the ESN account in USA, that account is where the USA family must put their contributions. No other account. No other account. That serves as ESN worldwide account, and that as well serves as the IPOB USA national account. I don't know if that is his question, but I want to make that clarification here for everybody to understand. The ESN new account that was opened recently by our finance officer in the USA, that serves for two purposes. And the first purpose is that it is the national account of IPOB in the United States of America, and again, that is also the worldwide account for ESN in the United States of America. Thank you, Mazi. Any other questions from anybody?
Yes, lots of them. Caller, your name and where you calling?
They should raise a voice. I'm not hearing anything. They should raise a voice.
Caller, your name and where you calling from? Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah. My name is Chika.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead. We are listening.
Yeah. Okay. Comrade Edoziem, I thank you for your job. I like the tune of your address this evening. And I will urge you to continue to be steadfast and be very firm who you're leading in absence of Yendo. We are the most difficult people in the whole planet Earth to lead. So you have to be very patient, but you have to do what you must do at any given time. This is leadership. And you have to take it very serious, because leadership is very serious business. It's not a business for faint-hearted people. You have to be decisive. You have to be prompt. And whatever that you need to be done to protect this noble family that was established by Oyendu through the grace of God Almighty, you have to do it. Don't look at any things. Don't look at any tools. You have to step on toes when it's necessary. We are behind you. I am somebody who strongly believes in loyalty to an authority. This authority is authority we have established in Igbo land and in Biafra land, and we have to protect it to do what we want to use it for. So I encourage you to be very strong and take decisions when it's necessary, and don't miss any minute to take it. Whatever direction that you know this movement has to go, in vision of the founder and the leader himself, you have to lead that struggle to that. Then again, I want to, put a kind of a talk on the recent deal between Moscow and Nigeria. I hope the leadership of IPOB is looking what's going on there, as they have recently signed a weapons deal and equipment deal in Moscow recently between the zoo and the Kremlin. So I hope the leadership of IPOB is looking at that direction and watching it closely and see what they have to do. Then again, I saw a suggestion that was made on Twitter by Simon Ekpa for a government of Biafra in exile. I personally had made a suggestion about almost 2 years ago, although our leader didn't really say anything about that. So I will consider that you look into it and see if it's something that it can be possible, because I support that suggestion. I support it. I already tweeted about it as well too. So then you have to be decisive, like I said.
Can you limit your question?
To prove to Biafrans that you can lead in absence of our leader. You have to stand up very well and stand very firm. You are leading one of the most difficult people on the face of this planet. It is not easy to lead us, but some elements like this, we're encouraging you to stand very firm and continue in the vision that Oyendu left before the situation came. We are praying for you.
Caller, can you limit your questions so that you can remember what to answer? You ask him multiple questions and then you might not remember all your questions.
No, I don't answer multiple questions. question. I told him to stand firm on his positions as the leader right now, as leader of this movement. Yes, the only question I asked was, the only question I asked in the suggestion was the Moscow deal, the weapons deal between Moscow and Nigeria. The second is the suggestion that the Biafran government in Esther should floated at this time around. That's the two questions I feel that I've brought in. The rest, I'm encouraging him to stand firm because he's leading one of the most critical people. He has to stand firm if he wants to take decision. That we have the family, he has to take
let him answer so that others can call in.
So that's what I have to say.
Okay, let him answer so that others can call in.
Right. Thank you, Mazi Chika. As you said, in my namesake, I got your advice that is appreciated. Honestly, I do appreciate it, and Chukwabiama is the strength that we have been using to do what we have been doing up to this level. So I appreciate that encouragement that you are giving. Now, on the issue of Moscow, yes, we are in the know of the inroad that the zoo is trying to make to secure weapons. And Biafrans, you must listen. This weapon they are trying to secure, they are not securing it for any other thing. They are securing it to wage war against you. But we are aware of that. We are monitoring, we are following it. Honestly, they have, you see, what the zoo is doing is that they are using your resources to go and borrow money. They are using your resources to go and enter into contractual agreements and be able to get weapons that they will use to fight against you. We must open our eye. We must open our mind. We must open our brain. You see, they are being stopped. The RTOB is stopping them. We are trying to stop them from getting the weapons they wanted from USA. The matter is still there. Our lawyers in the USA, they have, as a matter of fact, they have approached the court who will look into our complaint against the Secretary of State of the United States of America and, of course, the Secretary of Defense. These things are some of the information that we are some of the engagement that this leadership is carrying on that may not be easily or quickly in the public domain. But we have frustrated their efforts from the beginning. We are continuing. We are still frustrating their efforts. That is the effort of the zoo to secure weapons against us, because these weapons they are securing, it is not for fighting the terrorists. They know who these terrorists are. The terrorists in Boko Haram, in ISWAP, the terrorists that have grouped themselves as Fulani headsmen, the terrorists that they have compared and intimidated the media to call them not their name that they are, which is terrorists that they are, but to call them bandits. And when they call them bandits, the World Community will say, but these people, we don't have to get involved. They don't pose any danger to us. They are just bandits, internal problem that Nigeria can deal with. That is their motive of forcing and intimidating media to not to give them their remit. We had the retired Navy commander that came and spilled the beans. We had him. These are people, and what I find very disturbing is that this commander that came out to speak, there are many of us, that is many of our brothers, Biafrans, and Igbos to be precise, who were in the same position that this man was. They cannot come out to speak. Why? They are afraid to die. But they want to go to heaven. Is it possible? How can you want to go to heaven when you don't want to die? You think you will be Elijah that was taken off to heaven alive? You don't want to die, but you want to go home, but you don't want to die. So I am saying this for our people to be aware, to be very, very conscious of this, that those who are the axis of those who have gathered together to fight this last battle. I repeat, this is the last battle that they will fight, and Biafra will come. Biafra must come, and it shall come. No matter what human beings will do, no matter what evil spirits will do, Biafra is already ordained in the spiritual realm. The manifestation in the physical is just around the corner. So, on that front, we are frustrating their moves here and there. And we know that there are Islamic countries that they can easily go to, but we also know that our contacts will be able to, in a way, influence some of these countries to not supply their weapons to the zoo. Now they are going to Moscow because Moscow is also a superpower. They will go to China. We know what happened in China. We know what is still going on in China. Now they are going to Moscow. They are going to Moscow because the war, the arms that they use to massacre our people in their millions, the big fighter jets, were Russian-made. They were Russian-made because the United Kingdom co-opted. They co-opted the USSR as at that time to become part of the group that committed genocide against our people. Now they believe that they can still go to Moscow, but we are watching, and our minds is on it. Now to your last advice, or what you asked us to consider government in exile. My brother, I don't know if you're listening, but the government in exile has been a topic on our table for a very long time. If I tell you that this topic of government in exile has occupied the Directorate of State with discussions upon discussions 2 years back, 3 years back, probably you will believe me. And each time when we have finished our conversation, and I know where this is going, my dear people, I'm speaking a little bit, I'll try to translate it in English. In our language, because even you cannot hang your mat on the air. You have to have a place to place your mat to be able to do what? To be able to sleep. Now, I'm happy that this question came in. Don't fall for it. Great Biafrans. Don't fall for government in exile. Ask yourself, how can any sensible man be thinking of government in exile when the leader of the great movement is still in the hands of the enemy? How can you even begin to say it out? How can you imagine that was, I'll say something that never said before. In the first time our leader had a problem, the first time in 2015, like I said, I was at that time the secretary of the Director of State. I was the secretary. It's made by people also within and without to do what? To relegate Onyendu to the background and then front themselves to be in the people who will be negotiating with the zoo. They have come with the same tactics in a different way. They have come with the same agenda with a different name, but the same objective. They are trying to, relegate our leader to the background. They want to remove that power that is putting fear in the zoo from our leader, and that is this great movement for the indigenous people of Biafra. Don't fall for it. There is nothing like government in exile. If there will be any government in exile, you must wait until the leader of this movement is out. The person who is suggesting it, you are free. In any case, you are free. There was already a government in Israel in Sobia. I think Believe was once a government in exile. They are name something, they formed the government in exile. But where is it today? What they want to do, I'll still speak in English. That is why you have rogues parading themselves as politicians. Not only that they are parading themselves as politicians, they are even putting the hallowed name of leader in their name, calling themselves political leaders. Who are you leading when you cannot protect the interests of your people? Who do you want to lead in the government in exile? What structure do you have to constitute the government in exile? So don't fall for it. They can anyway. I don't say don't fall. I'm talking now to the IPOB family member, because this nonsense will not even be discussed in IPOB, EOS, government in exile, my foot. Government in exile, when your leader is in the enemy's hand and you form the government in exile, you come and lead or what? Matchmaker, Mazi Chika. This issue of government in exile is, for as far as we are concerned, is dead on arrival. If Oyindu is not out, there is no reason to talk about government in exile. Thank you, Mazi. And any question more? Any other question, please?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hola, your name and where you calling?
Good evening. My name is Kirechi. I'm calling from the...
Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mazi. I have just few questions. Number one, please, now that the Peter Crew have been suspended, what are we going to do to put Nigeria under pressure so that we can even hear the voice of our idea? Can even bring him out of PSS to the prison where he is? That's number one. Number two, what are we going to do to stop Anambra election? Because if that election goes on in Anambra, our leader will remain in prison. That is number two. Number three, what are we doing now? Because for some time now, they are attacking our forest, and the checkpoints are back. What is the DOS doing to ensure that those people that we are not there when our leaders are around, are not back in our land? Let me stop in this train now, man. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What's his name again? Mazi, I didn't get his name.
Kelechi.
Mazi Kelechi. Yes, Mazi Kelechi, thank you for your question. Your first question, now that the sit-at-home has been suspended, what are we going to do to put pressure on the geological group of Nigeria, and of course, to put pressure on the political affiliates in our land? Now, I owe no apology, because it's bleeds my heart, of course, to see that we are aware of that already, that the establishment is fighting tooth and nail to maintain their illicit position, but they have something else coming forward. Now, what are we going to do? And I said at the beginning of this, during the middle of my announcement, that we have slated the 14th of September for a sit-at-home. In addition to the court appearance date of Onyendu, we have slated that for a sit-at-home, and there are other avenues and other means of pressure that we are putting on the zoo, and also on the politicians in Biafra land. We are putting enormous pressure on them in things that we are doing that we at this very hour cannot be made public. But on all fronts which are on the ground, things will be going on the ground, and in diaspora, things will also be going on. Our lawyer in the Zoom, they are putting every legal they are exploring every legal avenue that is available within the context of the flawed constitution of the zoo. They are putting all efforts to make sure that our leader rejoins us the soonest. And the DOS, we as well are coordinating all other efforts, both diplomatically and, of course, international legal engagement to ensure that these things are done. But I know where you're going and where you're coming from, and I won't speak much on that area anyway, my brother. I will tell you something. There was a time our leader will say, when he was so angry about what the politicians were doing, and when he was putting all effort after the raising of the flag, he was putting all effort to make sure that our land is rid of the Fulani jihadists and terrorists that have decided to take over our land. He said that if we push him, he will just recall the ESN, and then we will see what will happen. Now what the terrorists believe is that, okay, this leader is no longer the man now. We will have an opportunity because the governors will not stop them. They will forget. We have seen it now. Some of them that have sold their conscience with the power three. I don't know if it's called 6 billion or whatever. They were giving 6 billion naira. Power three to be able to give our land, and with that, the threat that is coming from the administrator, the speaker administrator, that man, he forgave me. That is, I don't think the appropriate time, but I'll also leave it at that. So, the Fulani Janjali or jihadists that are coming in our land, the confusion that both the Nigerian establishment are trying to put in your mind to discredit your leadership, and then discredit the lawyer and try to take over Radio Baifra. These are all interconnecting while they keep us busy. They keep us busy with all this. They are from the backside opening our doors for the Fulanis to begin to retake our land. But like I said, there are things I will not speak publicly here, of course, but I assure you that Biafra land will not, cannot, and never shall be taken over by Fulani as they intend or as they thought that they will, irrespective of the fact that Onyendu is temporary, unreachable physically. Now, on another election, I will make no comment on that until further notice. I know our people are desirous of the leadership making that we will work. We are aware of what is expected of us, and I will assure you that this issue is under our radar and under our discussion. Mazi Kelechi, thank you for your question, and I think I will expect the next person to ask, please. No.
Okay. Follow your name and where you come from. Follow your name and where you calling from. Well, that line is up. Follow your name and where you calling from. I don't know. Follow your name and where you calling from.
All right, Mazi Alozie, you have done marvelous. Well, I think you've been on air for a long time, and you have given me almost one.
Let me get this guy here. Call your name and where you calling.
Hello, Mazi.
Welcome. Go ahead. Your name, please.
All right. This is James calling from South Africa. Mazi, I have a question for HDOS Chika.
He's listening. Go ahead.
My number one question is based on the announcement you made tonight. My first is when are you going to debunk issues arising on the social media? One is, for example, the issue of our mother, one of the US people that mentioned that our leader was not part of those that said we must go on the sit, we must cancel the sit at home. When are you going to, how are you going to treat that issue? Because, and that year was also on air when she mentioned it. How are you going to treat that? And number two is the issue of Simon Ekpa. I've been with Simon Ekpa for a very long time, and Simon Ekpa has never for one day before that spoke about against the DOS. What he has always done was to be able to analyze people, what they must understand. And he has been following according to the rules and regulations of IPOB. And recently, we all know what happened. We can try to set him up on that issue. So please, when are you going to begin to come on air to help us, give people more knowledge or what is happening? You cannot just wait after 1 week or 2 weeks to come and address you their plan. Sometimes it's so boring. We need people to step up and come out. These are my questions. The question I get on top of this, number one, when are you going to come up on air to become lot of things that will be seen on the news? And number two, when are you going to address the issue of our mother, saying that our leader was not part of those that agreed to stop the sit at home? And number three, when is Simon Ekpa going to take up the IPOB radio station to be able to broadcast so that we can also have a free and fair movement of our administration? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. What's his name again, please?
Yeah.
What?
His line is.
What's your name, please?
His line is poor.
Hello.
Your name.
Your name. Yes.
Mazi James, yes.
James.
From South Africa.
Mazi James.
And you are part of the family in South Africa.
Yeah.
Now, let me answer the one that listen. I don't have time for, but let me answer the first, the one that concerns Biafra mostly, and that most people will actually want me to respond to, and that has to do with the suspension of the sit at home. If I get you carried, when am I going to address the allegation that Owendu was not part of the suspension of sit at home? Is that correct, right?
Yes, that is correct, because I was also that night live when I heard our everybody mother say talk about that.
Now, the issue of the sit at home in the first place was put in place by the DOS. It's not by any other person. Not an external factor, nobody. It is when we recovered from the shock of seeing the picture of Owendu on the 27th of June this year, 27th of the year, when we recovered the shock, we convened an emergency DOS meeting the same day that this picture came out, and we began to brainstorm on what needs to be done. At the end of the day, we decided that we shall call for a weekly sit at home. And I'm going to say it as it is now. And we decided to call a weekly sit at home. And then we made that decision and we made it public. And then our brother, Oyendu's younger brother, Kanunta, requested for a meeting with some of us. At that meeting, he said that why are we trying to suffer our people by asking them to sit at home every Monday? Are we the ones who are going to feed them? That this will be an economic burden on them. Yes, he has a genuine concern. He is concerned about our people who are going to be denied once a day, for exercising or for showing us the brother of Kanunta who has been inhumanly kidnapped and then renditioned to the zoo. When he read this concern, we said, yeah, of course your concern is good, but we will go ahead with that decision we have made. And he suggested to us that we should make it once a month. And we said, no, we are not going to do it once a month. We will do it as we have suggested. And then suddenly, after our lawyers were able to secure contact, to see our leader, the instruction came from Oyendu. Instruction came from the lawyer that Oyendu said we should suspend the sit at home. That was before the night, the first day. We haven't done the first day. Oyendu said we should suspend the sit at home. And I asked our people, those that I had discussion, I said, but what is the reason? Did Oyendu give any reason why we should suspend it? And they said he didn't give a reason. And I asked them, but you tell me, what reason would I give Biafrans why I am suspending this sit at home when our demands has not been met? That was my question. I asked those both in DOS and those who were not in DOS that I had the opportunity to speak with. They were there, the news. I asked them, what will be the reason I have to give? And I think I'm trying to mix a little thing here, but the lawyers have not come back to us. Now, this is before the night, the first day of it. So when I was asking them, what is the reason they want us to suspend this thing? And they told me that we should use NECO as an excuse. We should use NECO because of the exam that the people are trying to hold. And I said, but NECO doesn't really, it's not the strongest excuse to give the Biafrans why we should stop the sit at home. And I will be very, very frank. And I will take the responsibility. I haven't said it on air before because it's not, I don't come on air and I said, because there is no reason from our leader that we should stop this sit at home, that we are going to go ahead with the sit at home. And then we went ahead with the first sit at home. After we did the first sit at home, and it was a huge success, unbelievably successful. Then, after that same Monday after the sit at home, the lawyers had a visit again to Oyendu, and they now came back and said that Oyendu said we must suspend that sit at home. So that message came now the second time, and I said, okay, if Oyendu insists, after the evidence we have provided that this thing was successful and that our people were willing to do it, if he insists, I will suspend it. And I suspended it. That instruction came from Oyendu. And anybody who tells you otherwise is lying. And that's how I will answer that question to you. Now,
sorry, sir. I just have to comment quickly. I'm so sorry about it. But addressing the issue of Simon Ekpa, how do you tell with your friends why is the reason why Simon Ekpa has not been allowed to broadcast on our platform?
Well, now I will answer that question because if I don't, it will be as if there is anything I'm hiding. Now listen. When Oyindu as well gave instruction that Simon Ekpa should be given a slot, and I repeat the word, a slot on Radio Baifra to broadcast like Maajaloze is broadcasting here today. A slot like Jonathan will broadcast. A slot like Ike Peters will do. A slot like our Malaysia coordinator. A slot like Cage, all of them. About a slot. And then we said, first of all, that instruction came from Oyindu through Barrister Ejiofor. Barrister Ejiofor delivered that message properly, in the sense that he delivered to the leadership. But then he went ahead and also passed that message to Master Simon Ekpa himself. Now, we have a head of Department of Media, like we have departments under the HDOS, and they all have heads that are heading them. The information that was given, the message from Oyindu that was given to us by Barrister Ejiofor was given not to Mazi or former directly, because the time difference between Australia and where he is and here was different. So probably he was still sleeping. But that message was given to one of us in the DOS, and we were waiting for Mazi Chinas Anoru, who received that message from Mazi, from Barrister to wait for Barrister Ofoma to get up for him to give him that information, so that Ofoma will follow it up as we follow our procedures. But before we know it, that information was already in the public through our brother Mazi Simon, who announced it already, and the confusion began. First of all, that was contrary to our procedures, but that was not the issue. We overlooked it. And then a meeting was called. A meeting was called where the head of media was there, and some other two people were there, or three. And myself, as head of directorate, I came to witness how the discussion would go. And in that discussion, after they told Simon that yes, Oyindu gave this instruction, but of course these things normally should have followed that procedure. But let's forget it now. If you are going to be part of this broadcasting, or if you are going to be given a slot to broadcast, there are procedures. There are documents that you need to sign. Document of rules and regulations guarding the media department. The undertaking that every principal officer signs, both those in the media, and of course our code of conduct. That these documents will remain available to him, and for him to look to it and sign. Simon said, no, he would not sign. He said he will not sign, and the word he used is a word that actually, honestly, I didn't want to talk about this issue. That's why I've avoided it. But now that he raised it, I'm going to answer it, and I'm answering it truthfully. And the word Simon used in that meeting was, if we, IPOB, cannot hand him over Radio Baifra, then we should forget it. He will not sign. Hand over Radio Baifra to you? For what? As who? And everybody was quiet. And we were thinking our head, did he say that or he didn't say it? He told us that there is a crisis in IPOB. He has come to do what? To solve the problem in IPOB. Okay. All this, as far as I'm concerned, was nothing really. And we went further to say, Abraham was also in there because Abraham is European rep. And Simon, where Simon resides in Finland, is under the authority of the European rep. So he was in that meeting. And a former said that, okay, don't worry, you will think over it, because you may be in a hurry to say something, but we will pass these documents to Abraham to forward to you, so that you, at your quiet time, you look at it and then do what? And decide. He said, don't send anything to me, to anybody. You will not sign. And then we said, okay, that's your decision. We will pass the message back to Onyendu. We passed the message back to Onyendu, and Onyendu didn't give us any counter instruction that we must overrule our principles, we must overrule our rules to accommodate that situation. So, and we know that is fine with our leader, and up till now, that has not changed, and that is going to be my answer to that question, and I hope that answered your question very well.
Well, there's still more calls, but I think we've stretched it enough, and
I will take one more. I will take one more question, and I will call it a day. Of course, I'll let you rest, Mazi. Just one more question, and then we will call it a day. Please, if there is any comment, if not, then let me know. I will close.
Okay. Not coming through yet.
All right, now let's leave it. Mazi Alozie, you have done great, wonderfully well. Great Biafrans, I appreciate your time that we have spent here. This is 1 hour, 37 minutes, going to almost 1 hour, 40 minutes. I have, that's the longest time I've been broadcasting. I'm not telling you, so people must not compare me with Wachineke because he has a different energy, he has a different spirit. It is even when people begin to use the pedestal that ONU has established to compare those of us who are working. It can never be. There can never be two men in Nnamdi Kanu. There can never be two captains in a ship. Therefore, we are working in the directorate in accordance, in agreement with him, with his spirit, and with his physical instructions. I thank all of you for this very evening. Like I said, going forward, I will, going forward, make available time once I come on air to be able to take questions from people. And somebody, this our last brother was complaining that I'm coming once a week on air. My brother, you're right. Sometimes I come once a week, but there is no second or see members of VOS coming on air to speak. These are a team. We have a team. We have a team in the DOS. If that Mazi Edoziem didn't come, does not mean that what they are saying is not in agreement with what the DOS is doing. So I may come. Even today, I know that some of us, or even yesterday, I know that some of VOS members were on air. And tomorrow, there will be more members of VOS coming on air. Some of these matters that they interact with or they talk about on air, these things are issues that DOS is aware of. And so I will, in my little effort, continue to at least make sure that I come on air as and when the need arises to speak to our people, and then to give them proper directions on what should be done going forward. I appreciate you, Mazi Alozie, for this evening, and I appreciate great Biafrans all over the world. You are really wonderful, and all the national leadership that we have in every country, all the zonal leadership we have in all zones, all the state leadership we have in every state, all the unit leadership we have, please, you must not allow yourself to be distracted. A great work, a great burden is on our shoulders, each and every one of us. We must show loyalty to the leader of this movement. There will not be a second leader for IPOB. There is no vacuum in IPOB. There is no autopilot to function in IPOB. The leader of this great movement is Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Amadike One, the supreme leader of IPOB. He is with us. He is not physically with us, of course, but he is in charge, and we will be working because our spirit is the same with his own. We will be giving orders and instructions according as he has trained us for 9 years and counting. And my prayer is that Chukwu Abiyama shall also let his spirit pour upon all of you, that you will have that spiritual eye to discern when the enemy is knocking or looking around the corner, looking for whom to deceive, looking for whom to, distract. Don't let yourself be distracted. We, the DOS, have no other objective. We have no other agenda apart from the two agendas I have said here. The short-term agenda is to ensure that the safety of Onyendu is in fact, and that his well-being is not jeopardized, and that he rejoins us sooner than later. And of course, the ultimate objective and agenda of this DOS is to work with Onyendu and help him and assist him in ensuring that the kingdom of heaven, the restored, independent, and sovereign Biafran nation becomes a reality in our life. And with that, I will say again, with all the love in my heart, with all the love that I have, I will tell you that Biafra is not just our identity. Biafra is our heritage. And when it is our heritage, we must ensure that that heritage that has been taken away from us is brought back. It is brought back not for us alone, but for our children. It is brought back not for our children alone, but for generation yet unborn. It is brought back not for the living alone, but for those whose blood has been shed for this very cause. And this DOS will be on that line, working with Onyendu to make sure that all this is achieved. Therefore, only Chukwu Abiyama, only Elohim, the creator of heaven and earth, Chukwu Okike Premierine, he alone shall receive the glory, and he alone is whom we worship. And for me, from here, I wish to say to all of you, may Elohim abide with you, may Elohim guide with you, may Elohim give you wisdom, may Elohim give you what we call common sense, that you may be able to decipher the shenanigans or decipher the lies that the enemy is possessing and placing before your face. And may we all live and see the restored Biafran nation. In Chukwu Abiyama's name, I have prayed. Say and thank you, and good night from me. Azaloze, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are this. You call me all times, so we are this. Don't give up. We've been fighting for so long. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. We've been dying for so long. Don't give up. Yeah. We are one people. We are friends. We are one nation all around the world. We are one people. We are friends. We are one nation all around the world. Don't give up. Don't give up. We've been fighting for so long. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. We've been dying give up. We've been fighting for so long, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up. We've been dying for so long, don't give up. Yeah. We are one people, we are friends. We are one nation all around the world. We are one people, we are friends. We are one nation all around the world.
Biafra was in the beginning, and Biafra has no end. And people of courage are strong.